How are you guys? Excited to be there? I think some people travel from all over the world, which is just insane. So I have my cheerleaders here, and I count on you too. Okay? How to go back? It's the first one. Yalla. Perfect works. So, I wanted to start this talk by sharing a little story with you. 3 years ago, I met Sarah and Ben, and they wanted to get married on the French Riviera. They wanted this beautiful wedding, with the sunset on the Mediterranean Sea, and all the family traveling from all over the world, and a lot of emotion, like this dream wedding. You see it, right? And so they were just this perfect client. When you meet them, and you exactly know it works, like it's matched, right? So I was like, oh my God, it's going to be exciting. And then I met their parents, Sarah's parents, because unfortunately, Ben's parents passed away a few years earlier. And it was so emotional because these guys were so about love. I was so overwhelmed by all the love and the emotion in this family. So obviously, as you can imagine, on the wedding day itself, it was a lot of emotion. That the father literally cried during the whole procession. And when he took his daughter's hands to give to his to the groom, he started to cry again and to say, you take care of her. Oh yeah, take care of you. So it was a lot of emotions. We took so many pictures and all the guests were incredible. I'm sure all of you already lived that type of wedding when you are like, this is exactly why I do this job, right? It was incredible. So I sent the pictures and they were more than happy. We talked a lot about the picture, the experience and everything. It still has a very special place in my heart. 3 months ago, Sarah called me. And she told me that, unfortunately, her parents were killed in a car crash accident. We were all devastated, and I was very, very touched because I just lost my parents as well. So obviously, we got emotional. We talked a lot, we cried a lot. And then at the end of the call, she told me, well, by the way, the whole point of me calling you is the fact that on top of everything, we are in the middle of moving from one place to the other. And I just realized something, which is the only beautiful picture we have from them. You were the one taking them during the wedding. We don't have any other pictures of them. And in the middle of all this moving, I have no idea where is the USB key. Is there a way for you to check around if you still have something, if you have a backup or something? Yes, of course. Don't worry at all. From the pictures, send the pictures. They printed the pictures. They are now able to see the pictures of their parents every time they open their phone or on the wall in the living room. And I'm so, so happy about that. How this is possible? It's because I've been doing this job for 15 years and I've learned so much from my experience. And I've learned that sometimes, even if, they are enjoying, they're having fun, you have to be the one saying guys, I'm very sorry for bothering you, but I think we should take a moment to do a few portraits of you if you don't mind. Because we know, unfortunately, that maybe in a few years, these pictures are going to be priceless. This is possible as well because I have many, many backups because I'm paranoid. So I have backups on my hard drive, on my cloud, absolutely everywhere, of absolutely every wedding I've done since 15 years. What do? I'm a wedding photographer, and my name is Maddie. Would you like to work with me? Yes! So now, how many sales techniques did I just use? The very first one is pretty obvious. Definitely obvious. Okay? Yeah, I just tell a story. Because there is something magical when you tell a story, you lower the guard. The thing is, when you try to sell something to someone, your brain automatically say oh my God, I do a step back. This person is trying to sell me something. But the thing is, when you tell a story, the brain listens, right? And it's an emotion. People don't buy what you do exactly as you said. This here, they buy what you feel, what they feel. And the facts are processed by 2 areas of the brain, but stories activate 7 of them. The more of the brain you activate, the stronger the memory, which is absolutely what we want, because we want them to remember you. And the narrative transport, which is the brain response to a story as if it's happening to you. Who imagined the wedding on the French Riviera? Who saw the father crying? Raise your hand. You saw it, right? It was real. It was there. Who got emotional when I talked about the parents, unfortunately, killed in a car accident, right? So all the filters collapsed. It's all about the emotion. And then I used another technique, which is, maybe you've heard about it. Who knows Simon Sinek? Oh, great. So this guy created a concept called the why, how, what, which is something we tend to use for communication, but works as well a lot for sales technique. And this is why. Why do I do what I do? Because I want Sarah to be able to get her pictures even years after the wedding. I want her to know that the pictures are safe, and I want all these emotions, all these moments to be protected forever. How do I do that? Because I have 15 years of experience, and then I know it's important for them to have these pictures, so I take them even if I have to force them a bit. And then I have all these clouds where I save all my pictures. What do? I'm a photographer, right? So the whole point of all of that is that selling is a skill. It's not a talent. So this is something you can learn, train, make mistake, do again, and improve. We're going to do today is we're going to go through very, very practical sales technique. I'm fascinated by how we can actually push our direct clients in a way or another, depending on so many psychological tips, let's say. So my entire goal today is for you to go back home after the gala party and to be able to apply exactly for the next call what we said today. So very, very practical. And we're going to compare between mass market and luxury. What are the very small subtleties and differences? If you don't know this book, Amazon, just buy it and read it. This is a gem. It's basically for me like the book you need to read at least once. I think I read it like 10 times. And we're going to go through the 6 basic sales techniques. I don't want to spoil the book, so we are not going to go too deep in this one, but it's still very important to know a few of them. Reciprocity. Give first, and they feel compelled to give back. It happened to all of us. To receive something or to give something, and the other one feels like they owe you something, right? When you give a gift, just for the pleasure. But if you can give something in return, more than happy. So in the mass market, it's going to be like free thrills, lead magnets, freebies to attract volume. But the thing is now people get used to it, right? Like you just take whatever is free and then you take advantage of it. You don't care that much. But in the luxury industry, it's going to be like a one-time gesture that shows your expertise, a test of what's possible. But you need to set the limits, and the boundary itself creates the desires. Oops, sorry. And I have a question for you, especially photographers. I'm sure you've already heard this sentence, which is, oh, but you do it for free and I recommend you to all my friends. Right? Did you hear that already? Story of my life. And it's the same for influencers and things like that, where they're like, yeah, please work for free and I tag you. Honey, it's part of the contract. You have to do it anyway, So we have what we call the social proof, which is basically people follow what others are already doing. Because if others do it, it means it's great, right? So in mass market, it's going to be 1,000 reviews, star rating, follower counts, volume is the proof. In luxury, it's going to be word of mouth. Hello, I'm going to go there. Some don't even have a website or social media. I know some planner. Sometimes they don't even have a website or social media. They just have a phone number. And this is the only way to reach out. It's insane. I love that. And a handful of clients here, all by referral, and it's not about quantity, it's about trust. The watch out is be careful by dropping names sometimes to show off a bit without permission, because it's going to just destroy exactly what got you there. Discretion is not a weakness, it's the proof itself. Authority. People trust experts. Okay, I'm going to stay there. Certificates, diplomas, follower count, creditor want on the sleeve for the mass market, and luxury is going to be all about reputation built quietly, the right rooms, the right clients, and the right results. Known by those who matter, invisible to those who don't. But this is a long debate, which is what about 2026? Where we tend to think that too much visibility kills the mystic. But nowadays, with social media, we realize that it's a very good question, right? So I see you for the next talk. Scarcity is people want what they can't have easily. Who has a Birkin? Me neither. But I want one because I can't. You know what I mean? So this is exactly all about scarcity. It's in mass market, it's going to be a fake urgency, a countdown timers like only 3 left in stock, flash sales. People know it's manufactured and it doesn't work anymore that much. In luxury, it's going to be a wait list, a limited number of clients per year. And above all, you choose who you want to work with. Oh, cherry on the cake. We don't need to broadcast it everywhere. When a client asks, you simply say you are fully booked. That's enough. And this is something that we actually experimented recently with a certain type of clients that we work with. And we decided to say that now, basically, we just accept a few clients per month and per year. So you actually have to apply to work with us. And I was like, I'm going to be empty tomorrow. My schedule is going to be empty tomorrow. It worked like crazy. So people actually said like, okay, I want to be part of that. I want to be one of their brides. So they applied and they were like, no, but you know, this one she doesn't need, like I can pay double, and it started to go crazy. So this shit works. And then commitment and consistency, because people align their actions with what they have already said, which is just something that is so underestimated. Mass market is going to be free trial, onboarding flow, start for free. Get a small yes to build toward the big one. And in luxury, it's going to be the discovery call itself is the first commitment. By accepting the meeting, they have already started saying yes. The fact that we get a yes from them is the beginning of not the end, but the beginning of the beginning. Every question that gets a yes brings them closer. But consistency works both ways. If you position yourself as exclusive and then accept every client you ask, you break your own brand promise. And the last one, liking. People buy from people they like. Be likable to everyone is something from mass market, like when you work in the mass market. And I just want a quick disclaimer. Mass market is not a bad word. We keep thinking that it's all about luxury and then the mass market, like, hello, poor people. No, it's not a bad word, right? It's fine. It's just different. But there is something very interesting, actually, is like, in the mass market, this is something you have to be. You have to be nice, you have to be kind, you have to smile. But we all know, in the luxury industry, some people that are so complicated to work with. I see like, oh yeah. I know, exactly. But these people are fully booked, right? Just because this is something you can basically do only in the luxury industry. It's so interesting. So now, I have a question for you, which is, what is worth than making $1,000 offer to a person with $100 budget? Any idea? It's actually to make $100 offer to someone with a budget of 1,000. The whole point of that is, and because I love stories, I'm going to tell you a crazy story again. But it's a very, very, very crazy story. So I received a message on Instagram. It was maybe 2 years ago. Yeah? And the message said, I'm the assistant of the family. and the daughter wants to get married soon, and she wants to book you. Sure, let me explain to you the process and how it works and how we're going to send you a proposal depending on what you need. And she was like, stop, stop, stop. You don't get it. She wants to book you. So you just send the contract, the invoice, and it's done. Okay? Doesn't happen every day. I wish. So it was a 3-day, come back. Okay, one day it's kind of happy. It was a 3-day waiting, so I was super happy. Sent the contract, signed, got the money, amazing. And then, as usual, we created a WhatsApp conversation, no planner at that time involved, long story. But anyway, after a while, the assistant of the family started to say, I should add the bride to the group. Yes, please, could be very helpful. So she did it, and we started to talk. And I was like, okay, I definitely need to talk to her. We need a call. I will always remember this call. It was completely surreal. She was in the restroom in the Ritz, And we started to talk, and she said, oh, Maddie, I love your vintage pictures so much. So I didn't know I was a vintage photographer, but, my ego has a price. No problem. I'm now a vintage photographer. But then, for me, she opened the door. And I was like, well, if you love vintage, actually, we can have a real film photographer on the wedding day. Oh my God, you can do that? Of course. So we just added a film photography option. And then she opened the door. Hopla. I jumped on it. Do you want a film video Super 8mm? You can do that. Of course. So we added the film, vintage Super 8mm option. And I say like, well, if you really love paper and old school pictures, you should have a Polaroid guy turning around and taking pictures of the guests. You can do that. Of course. So we added the Polaroid, right? And then I ended up saying like, you're excited to have your pictures, right? Oh my God, you have no idea. Okay. How quickly would you like to have your pictures delivered after the wedding? She was like, oh, I don't know how quick it could be. 2 days? You can do that. Of course. So we went from speed photo editing 48 hours. And then I said like, but you don't live where you're going to get married, right? She said, no, I live in London. Oh. Anyway. Okay, we should do an engagement session in London, actually, for you to bring part of your story in your wedding journey. You can do that! Perfect. So we went to London to do the engagement session. And then we started like that to say like, with the pictures from the engagement session, we can do a guest book. You can do that? Of course. And then the civil wedding is going to happen actually in London. Can you be there? Of course. And then you're going to try your dress in Elisab in London. You can be there. Voila. And then we have the wedding, 3 days, completely crazy adventure. It was insane, as you can imagine, with all the options. We booked many, many other things, but we don't have 2 hours. So I'm just going to go straight to the next point. She bought maybe 45 albums. And then she said, so there's just one thing, is on the wedding days, we didn't have a lot of time to do a couple session. So if you can travel to my place and we can do like an entire day of couple pictures and then videos and Polaroid and everything. Of course. And she had albums from this photo shoot as well. And she basically spent 270K with us. Shama. The whole point of that is not to show off. It's actually to share one specific thought, which is don't stop them from spending money. And I've seen that so many, many, many times. People sabotaging themselves, think like we have this package, and what if I want to spend more? Not because I have money, but because I enjoy. I love working with you. And so many things I see is, for example, to say like, most people go from this option, which is very interesting because we think that we help them, but actually we guide them. And most of the time, what do? We go for the one in the middle, which means that if they had in mind to go with the most expensive option, you just make them question their choice. She's like, oh, I thought this one was great, but like if everybody go for this one, maybe it's better. Don't do that. Don't assume there were limit budgets, especially when you work with luxury clients. It means so many things at the same time. Luxury can be like 500K, 1 million, 2 million, 10 million. So the budget is so subjective at that level of the game. Don't introduce discount, bundles, or special offer before they even ask. It looks obvious, but trust me, it's not. I've seen things like, so this is the price, but because I like you very much, today it's going to be 20% off. They were more than happy to pay the full price. And you just lost 20% because you were so scared of losing the clients. So instead, what we can do is to take the time to listen and observe and understand what level they are playing at. By, for example, showing all the options available and pay attention to their reactions. My bride was like, can you do that? Thank you. One is following. Rest is sleeping. So, of course, I understood that she was more than happy to see what's next, right? Okay, let's go. I honestly created options for her. But the thing is, when we feel that they are like, yeah, that's great, but calm down a bit, okay, maybe it's time to slow down with all the options and ideas. So just listen to them. They are talking to you. And we create options if necessary. I'm going to tell you a secret nobody knows, and it's just between you and me and Instagram, is that I have no idea how to film with a Super 8mm. So basically bought Super 8mm and I went on YouTube, and then, I learned how to do. We did many tests. We tried, worked perfectly. Now I'm so crazy about that we created an entire business about that. Yeah, it's just so cool. Love it. And now I would like to do a quick test. So I have my pens. Hopla. It was easier the other way. Do you need a pen? I have one already. Which one do you prefer? Okay. And how many would you like? 2, 3? Let's do 2. 2, great. So this one didn't want a pen. This one I just asked, which one do you prefer? So this it just basically didn't have a choice to say no. It just had the choice between A and B. And this one I said, like, how many would you like? Which is basically usually not 1. So we go from 0, 1, and 2, or millions, depending on what you prefer. The whole point of that is just to say, like, the only difference about these 3 people is they basically don't need a pen, but one ended up with 1 and one ended up with 2, just because we changed the question we asked. What's happening? So a quick topic about like what luxury clients expect. We talked about it already, but it's just so many things that I've seen through my years of experience. And obviously things to be smooth, simple, easy, and quick from point A to Z. Yes. Prices we've already included. Oh my God. This is one of my biggest fights. And I think all the planners, please tell me if I'm wrong, agree with me that there is nothing more annoying than asking for a price and having like, so this is a price, and then you have to add the VAT, and then you have to add the transportation, and then you have to add this and that, and it's just like, give me a full price with everything included. Even if it's a bit higher, but at least I know I don't have to worry about anything, right? As a client, this is something I hate. When I have like, this is a price, and then on top you add this, and then on top that, give me the full price once for all, and let's move on, right? Your availability and devotion, which means less clients, because we have to take care of each of them. So it has to be part of our strategy and our pricing as well. And to feel that they are in good hands with a pro used to deal with that level of clients. When you sign a 270K contract, no, you don't jump everywhere, ready to open the bottle of champagne. You just wait for them to leave. Thank you, it's amazing. Yes! But you do that discreetly. It looks obvious, but same. I've seen very crazy things. You know, when they have the dollar in the eyes, like they love you like that. Just a few more techniques I wanted to talk about, like level expert, because I'm very fascinated about that. And if you are like me, full of energy, and you love talking a lot, and you want people to be in the same energy than me, then it's very hard when the camera turns on and you discover a bride and a groom being like, hello? Oh, we were super excited to meet you. Oh God, it's going to be a long conversation. And I was used to do something that was actually a very big mistake. And I was used to try to bring them, to force them to come where I was, energy-wise. Which is actually the worst way to get so tired trying to bring them where they absolutely don't want to be. By their personality, or by their mood, or because they had a bad day, whatever is the reason. The only way to do that and to bring them into your world is a technique called mirroring and pacing and leading, which is basically you drawing them where they are. So if they are super quiet like that and a bit shy, then you become very quiet and shy. Hey, how are you? And step by step, we bring them to our world. And step by step, we bring more energy. And they end up dancing on the table and saying, take my money, send me the contract, and let's move forward. The yes letter, I talked a bit about it before, is the fact that psychologically, the more you say yes, the more you tend to say yes for the next question. It's something that is very interesting actually to experiment. It's just like, do you enjoy today? Are you happy to be there? Is it beautiful in Italy? Do you want to work with me? Here we are. It looks so simple when I say it like that, right? Up. The price anchor is something I'm sure you've heard before. It's the fact that we start with very high price, which means that absolutely everything you're going to say after that, going to look ridiculous. And I'm sure it already happened to you that you enter a boutique and you have in mind to spend like $100 for shoes. What can you have for $100 in shoes? And then you see these amazing shoes and they are like 2,000. Oh my God. And I'm a shoe person, And I'm like, oh, really love them, like 2,000. It's just like, no, there is no way. And then you see this one. They are like very beautiful as well. But they are 700. You're like, 700 is nothing compared to the 2,000, right? So in the end, you end up with the $700 shoes instead of the 100 budget you had in mind when you started. This is literally the story of my life. The assumptive clause is when we don't ask if, and we ask when. Like at the end of the conversation, it's not like if we work together. It's when we are going to start working together. And throughout the entire process, to talk like if it was going to happen, actually. So we're going to have the first call every 2 weeks. Usually, which day are you available the most? Wednesday. Perfect. So Wednesday from 10 to 11, right? Perfect. Let's book it. They are already in the process. And unselling, which is like level expert plus, which is to explain what they don't need to create the desire on what they need. You don't need the helicopter, right? No. You don't need the horses, right? No. You don't need the crane. No. Okay, great. So we need this and that and that. Yes. Perfect. Yes. And there is something actually very interesting when you work with sales. We all deal with the same objections. And it's always about 4 common objections. Product, you basically don't sell what they want. The price, it's too expensive. Time, I don't have time to do it. It's going to be time consuming or whatever. And trust, people simply just don't trust you. Some ways to deal with that and to anticipate that, and it's something I've learned very recently, It's actually to make a list of all the objections that you are used to meet every single day during a call or during a meeting. You do this list, and for each of them, you find a way to integrate it in the speech. And there is a magic sentence that I'm so happy to be able to share with you today, which is like, na na na, and it's amazing because. And it's perfect because. Bride is asking, how many times are we going to call each other and to meet each other? Oh, every 2 weeks. So if you let the door open, she's going to say like, oh, but I expected we were going to meet like every week. Oh yeah, but like every week it's a lot. Da, 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 da. And you end up spending an hour trying to justify the reason why it's only every 2 weeks. But if you start saying like, okay, bride is saying like, how many times are we going to meet each other? Oh, once every 2 weeks. And it's perfect because actually, like, it's great. You are not harassed. You don't, etc., etc. Okay. What else do you want me to reply to that, right? So you anticipated the objection by the famous, and it's perfect because. So this is my gift to you today. As you saw, I'm very obsessed by words. And I created this guide that you can just take your phone and scan the QR code, if it works. And it's a list of words of what to say, what not to say, and what to say instead. So last time I had a conference, the website crashed because we had like 500 people trying to download it at the same time. So if it doesn't work, you can try a bit later as well. But it's like a few pages with so many expressions, so many tips of what not to say, avoid to say, and try to say later. If you want to see more about our work, as a photographer, you can find us on Instagram, madi.christina.photo, and a special kiss for you, Andrea. And if you want to find more about the marketing company that we have now, which is named CocoSpark, you can find us as well on social media on cocospark.official. And I share millions of that type of tips every single day. But before us to end this amazing moment with you guys, I wanted to celebrate us a bit as entrepreneurs, but as passionate people as well. We work like crazy. We are always trying to be better, to be more efficient, and to have like a very happy clients at the end of all of that. It's not an easy industry, right? It's tough. Competition is hard, and we always try to do our best. So I found this little film that I really, really love. I'm going to share with you. At the end, we'll see who actually created it, and it will make so much sense. But I think it actually applies to all of us. And my name is Christina, and it was a pleasure to be there today.